Hello there, everybody. My name is Jessica. I'm a broadcaster that resides in Ghana, also a voice actor and a fitness enthusiast. Thank you so much for joining my channel once again. And if you're new here, you're welcome. I've got lots of content that you can enjoy. So today, I'm going to be telling you 6 ways to ask for your money back without ruining your friendship. And we've all been there, you know? Friend comes to you in dire need of money, you lend it to them, and now getting it back has become a major issue. We'll be getting into it right here, right now. Alrighty, so you're welcome back. Okay, so, I feel like giving out money or lending money isn't a bad thing in itself, but some people just make it really difficult to lend them money from your heart or to give out something that means dearly to you, usually money, from your heart. And it gets more and more difficult every time you get bitten. We hear all the excuses. I was expecting some money. I didn't get it at the end of the month. Please give me time. Give me one more week. I'll sort you out. My grandma died. I had to be away. I've been sick. And we hear these excuses on a daily. And of course, there are those who won't even say anything. They take your money and they literally disappear into thin air. How do you deal with people like that? How do you try to get your money back without actually ruining your friendship in the end? Now, first, I think that there are a few things that people need to realize. A lot of us do not know how to lend money. And let me just spend one more minute to tell you exactly how you should be lending money that will possibly ensure that your money comes back to you. First, never give an amount of money that you can't afford to lose to anyone. So let's say you have a friend who's asking you for 10,000 cedis. You have the money, but you would rather not part with 10,000. What do you tell this friend? Instead, maybe if you can spare 2,000 and you know that, okay, give or take, if you give them 2,000 and they don't return it, you should still be good to go. That's actually the money that you should be lending them and not the 10,000. And at least they'll be grateful because you'd have given them a little more of the money that they need to hit their target. Secondly, always agree with them on a return date. So never lend money out indefinitely where this person doesn't tell you, okay, I'm going to give it out to you, say, at the end of the month, etc., etc. Agree on a return date so they know that your money that you're lending them is time bound and you will need it back at so and so a time. Now, some people may think that this is actually extreme, but if I lend my friends money, I let them sign an IOU. Just a little document that says, Jessica on this date at this time gave Kweku, let's say 5,000 cedis, and Kweku has agreed to pay it back on so and so a date. And I let Kweku sign it as well. It's an easy way to always have proof that this person has been here and they've actually asked you for money, which you lent them. And in future, if you have to ask for your money back, at least you have something written on paper. All right, so maybe you're one of those people who have already lent, your friend money, and I guess that's why you're watching this video. So it's too late to do any of these things that I've talked about. Okay, so if you can't sign an IOU, how about you let them sign a repayment plan or put a repayment plan in writing? So it's too late. You can't make them sign anything, but you can actually let them come to you or you go to them and say, okay, you owe me 5,000 cedis. Let's put this in writing that for the next maybe 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, you're going to pay, say, 500 cedis of that amount. So you're giving them options. You're making it easier for them to also pay back. without actually losing the total thing. So say they owe you 2,000. At the end of the day, they would have been able to pay, say, even 500 out of your 2,000, as opposed to you losing the entire amount. Okay, so let's say you've done all these things and yet this person is still not paying you back your money. The reason why we're here. How do you ask for your money back without actually ruining your friendship? I've got 6 pointers for you. Point number 1, set up a meeting for a one-on-one, a face-to-face, okay? To make your friend a little comfortable. Maybe you can even tell them the reason why you want to meet. Okay, so can we please meet up about the loan that I gave you, say, 3 months ago? To make them even more comfortable, feel free to have them pick a location, all right? Somewhere that they'll be comfortable and won't think that, oh, Jessica's coming with police to come for her money kind of thing, all right? But just try to set up a meeting. And point number 2 is to remind them kindly. Now, if they're like me, chances are they've forgotten that they owe you money. And this is genuine. I know some people like take a piss, but this is actually genuine. There are days where, say, in my office, maybe we're walking outside, I saw fruits, I was with a friend, I didn't have any money on me. I'd say, oh, can you buy these fruits for me? I'll give you the money when we return. Maybe by the time we get back to the office, I get distracted, and for some reason, well, I never pay you back. Truth is, if you don't remind me, I would have totally, genuinely forgotten. So yeah, remind your friend kindly. Point number 3, be direct. If politely asking them or whatever still doesn't give you anything concrete, maybe it's time that you just be direct and outright with them. I'll tell you a personal experience. Rented my property out to some guy who knows a friend of mine. Called me up and said, hey, I'm so-and-so's friend. I'm back in Ghana looking for a house to rent. Can you be of help? And of course, as soon as he mentioned my friends, I was like, oh, this guy must be good. Rented out the property. We had an agreement that he would pay 70% the amount of the rent and then pay the remaining 30% in the next 15 days. Guess what? It took him 8 months. 8 months to settle it. And it's not like he even came to me to say, hey, Jess, I finally got the money. Here it is. I literally, that day, I was livid. I had to pick up a phone and call him and say, dude, you're taking a piss. You're making me mad. Why is it that you have not paid this money? You owe me. It's a contract. Just stick to it. Like, how hard is it for you? And I had to really cuss him out and make him realize that the fact that I wasn't calling him all the time and was just sending him messages to remind him didn't mean that I didn't need the money back. So I was actually really aggressive with him, and he paid the money back in under 3 days. So sometimes you just need to be direct. Point number 4, tell them exactly the reason why you need the money back. So for instance, you can say something like, hey, the money that I lent you was actually part of my school fees, and I really need it back to be able to pay my outstanding school fees. You can also talk about how maybe, you took that money from, say, your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife if you're married, and for that matter they need the money back, and you'd really appreciate it if they could return the money on time because it's getting embarrassing. What this does is it sort of appeals to their emotions. So if they were just people who thought, oh, Jessica has money, she doesn't really need the money back, they would suddenly realize that, oops, Jessica did not have the money. She had to go an extra mile to get the money for you from someone else. You understand? And that would increase the likelihood of them returning the money. Point number 5 would be set a deadline. Okay, so a lot of us tend to lend out money without asking when we're going to get the money back. And for me, that is a recipe for disaster. Chances are this person will default because they think that you don't need the money anyway. So this is what I'll say. Set a date, okay, or a deadline. Let them know that, listen, I'm really hard pressed for cash. It's already been like a really long time and the money isn't coming. But honestly, you need the money latest by, say, a month's time. And if that doesn't happen, then they'll really be pushing you to the wall. If you set a deadline, It's able to at least help them to commit to something, and they would go the extra mile, hopefully, to get the money to you ahead of time or in time. And for me, that still works because you still get your money. Decide what actually means more. In some cases, you're going to have to choose between your getting your money back and your friendship. So when you weigh the options and you feel as if you've been shortchanged by this friend and they haven't been reliable and they've really done you in, the truth is you're probably going to have to walk away. And that's just a hard fact. But either way, you're gonna have to come to that decision when the money goes unpaid for a really long time. All right. So these are a few of the tips that I'd like to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed them and you found it useful. If you like any of the information I gave out, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification button as well. I'll appreciate the support, and thank you so much for watching. My name is Jessica once again, and I'm out.